Well, hello there and welcome to the Leo dog issue. And as you can see on the caption prior to the video, those are all the dates you have to be in this Western and astrological zodiac combination. Any comments or any things you'd like to add yourself on this video, please feel free, and your feedback's very welcome. And any questions, I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, let's start in the beginning then. The Leo dog as a child. So we've got the Leo, we spoke about the Leo. They're a very confident, very bubbly, very daring, quite a leader of the child, and very, very sunny. They love their friends, they have many, many friends. So we put the dog into the mix, so the dogs come into the mix. They're they love their family, they're quite pessimistic though, need a lot of reassurance. So if we put the two together, the Leo dog as a child is a child that just lives and breathes off the cuddles from the parents. They need a lot of reassurance, a lot of affection, a lot of praise. Praise is like medicine to them. They need that very, very often. And when they start school, they will be like trying to keep pursuing that off the teacher, trying to get reassurance that they're doing the right thing, praised a lot, as we say, because otherwise you can get, if they're starved with this emotion, if they're starved with this feedback, they can get quite spiteful and quite bitter and quite argumentative and really sort of kick out against everything, and just to get noticed, just to get some sort of recognition. And if they can't get the good one, they try and get the negative one, and this is very, very common in this combination. The thing is, they need to have that solid background. The parents will know how much they need cajoling. 1 minute they could be ultra confident, and then the doubts hit them. The doubts hit them and think, oh, I don't think I'm as good as I am, and you've got the constant battle they're going through the day. So it's loads of reassurance, and the parents will realise that they know if the Leo dog's playing up in the classroom, it's because they're not getting any praise, they're not getting any recognition at all. And it can be quite hard work for the teacher, because it might look as though they're singling a child out to say, yes, you're doing so well, etc. And they can't be looked to be showing favouritism, but that's on the scale that this child needs. May need one-to-one tutoring for that, in the sense of you can give enough praise and enough attention, because otherwise you can get quite a negative child in the classroom, and one that can cause a lot of disruption, one that can be a little bit spiteful as well, to somebody that may be getting the recognition and the praise that they crave, and that and as I say, the kind words that they really crave. Because if this continues, the older they get, they don't kick against the grain so much, then they harbour a lot of resentment, and it's such a fine balance. We need to get that balance right, and as I say, as long as they're getting nourished at home, that affection, they're going to need it until they're getting well into their teens. They're going to need that, no, you're doing well, you keep going. They're going to need that a lot, a pat on the back, or or that cuddle, just to say, no, you're doing excellent and I'm proud of you. They need to know that people are proud of them, because if they're left to their own devices, we get a resentful teenager, one that wants to be disruptive rather than being, all the nice things, all the lovely things about the dog and the lion. Those lovely qualities get pushed to the back, get pushed out the way, and then they've got this disruptive and quite a deep-seated resentment for authorities then, and also maybe for the run-of-the-mill stuff. They don't want to shoot off into a path of how can we put it, shoot off into a path of non-recognition completely then, and sort of say, right, okay, I'm not getting anything here, so I'll go off and find it with people who may be the undesirables, and they can go down that route, and it's quite easy. So we've got to be so careful that everything's in place, and if it is in place, which I sincerely hope it is, or things are rectified early enough, if it is in place, then you get a wonderful, wonderful, warm, a great combination of a character, because you've got that sunny disposition, They're very affectionate. When they're receiving affection, they're very affectionate. They will help any friend they've got. They will really, truly help them. They're so generous of heart and spirit. They would give somebody their last penny in their pocket to help them. They really are such a lovely combination if we can get the best out of them. And with the dog, the Leo doesn't get too carried away, so it makes them very empathetic towards other people, because sometimes the lion can be, well, you know, the fittest survive, the strongest survive. But with the dog, they're like, you know, I can jump to the defence, very much so. They'll be saying, well, they're not as fortunate as me, so I will help them. You know, they're very much about that. They're so caring. They love their family. If they've had all that love put into them, that affection put into them, you've got somebody who will cherish their family for life, looking after their parents when they're old, everything like that. Nothing will be too much trouble. And I say, that lovely, generous spirit, and they'll be there to put their arm around somebody and build them up, because they can see the vulnerable in people, and that's what they're very good at. They'd make a fantastic counsellor. So if everything was in place, counselling in the caring industry, they'd be very good, because they'll be able to spot people who may not be having it so good, because there's that little empathetic, you know, feeling, and they can zone in on it, and they know when to put their arm round and that affection and build somebody up. So there's a really, really good quality there. They would make an excellent teacher themselves, because they could then spot, you know, and work out from the children who's a little bit more vulnerable than others. So there's some really great qualities. A great, you know, somebody in the law as well, where they can keep that lovely judgment and say, right, you know, keep an eye on things, and really know, sort of find out the truth from the lies. Really, they're very excellent at that, because they tell through the soul, they tell through the eyes. And as I say, with this combination flowing, and they can be possibly anything they want to be, because the dog keeps the lion a bit grounded. Sometimes the lion has these fantastic ideas, and they are great ideas, don't get me wrong, but sometimes they're a bit grand and there isn't the finances for this idea. But the dog will put in sensible, strategic, maybe slightly pessimistic projections of plans, but they make them very good. So they prefer the slow progress to get into where they want to get to, rather than, okay, the lion wants to take. They will do that, and they're very hard working combination as well. So they'd like to do it the slower way, which I really think helps for the lion, because sometimes the lion can go in for too much too soon. Yes, they're fantastic leaders, yes, but sometimes they bite off too much, and then they look back and think, wow, I'm in up to here now, you know, where's my Virgo to help me sort this mess out? You know, they're looking round for these great friends that they undoubtedly have, and sometimes friends are coming to their rescue. It pains them to ask for help, but that can sometimes happen with the lion, where they've just gone in, wow, I've gone over my head. So the dog in the mix really helps check that back, makes everything scaled down a bit, but a lot more helpful. A lot more helpful for the lion, I think, like that. It's like a little bit of an anchor there to say, hey, whoa, wait a minute, you know, how about if we do it in this stage and then we build up to that? And it's very good like that. They will like to do college work, yes, and they will like to do university work, because they do appreciate the studies and the slower way of getting to where you've got to go. But in the workplace, they would like to start up somewhere reasonably high, so they may want to come out of university and say, well, I've got this. They might not be so keen at starting right at the bottom. They might come in maybe sort of a little way up, coming into a good position, something that they've got their eye on, you know, and you can entrust these to really be a great leader and a great team player as well. So, you know, they won't ask anybody to do nothing that they wouldn't do, because, as I say, they've got empathy there, along with, you know, that magnanimous gesture of saying, okay, I'm going to help you out, I'll show you how to do it. They've got a lot of time for people. So who are the people that respond to the Leo dog the most? Or, you know, who attracts the Leo dog? What combinations out there? Well, we have to go for the tigers, because the tigers and the dog, you know, they just click. They click on so many levels. They click on the way they see life, the way they like to go about life in the right way. They're very justice orientated together, and they just really do click, and they click very well in business as well, so they can work together. And there's a great sort of sense of, okay, the Tigers may be a little bit more pioneering, they may go off for a while, that sort of thing, but they know with the dog they've got the trust. There's a great compromise on ideals as well, so the dog is saying, right, I'll keep everything totally cool at home, you do what you've got to do, you know, but I know you're going to come back, because there's a lot of trust between these two. And as I say, the dog is devoted. When they zone in on that person, they zone in, and so it's a wonderful match. So let's go for the Tigers in the signs of Libra, Sagittarius, Aries and Gemini. They will be the best Tigers. And we also have to go for the horses, because with the horse they bring in a little bit of unpredictability for the dog, and sometimes drag them out of maybe a little bit of pessimism. The Leo dog will love those surprises. They will love that little bit of taking them out the mundane, but they like to come back into it. But they like those little snippets of change, lovely little snippets of change, not throwing them about all over the place, but little changes and little, you know, indifferences here and there, where they can just take themselves away, and then they're back down to earth. So they like that, and plus they love the skillful horse, they love the intelligence of the horse, and they can be mesmerised by them. And in the dog, you've got that loyal companion which the horse craves. Very, very loyal to each other, these two as well. So let's look for the Libra horse, the Sagittarius horse, the Aries horse and the Gemini horse. Wonderful matches. The ones we have to avoid, and even though with the Leo dog we spoke about, okay, they're a bit more of a garish dog, they're a little bit more of a bigger dog, if we can say that, you know, like to attack life a little bit more, and they have the pessimism there, but not as much. They still are not going to get on with dragons. It doesn't matter, even though there's a bit more vibrancy and a bit more bolder statements. The dragon for them is going to be just too much. They're going to think, wow, there's a lot of hot air coming here, I want cast iron this, and the dragon's going to look at the Leo dog and even the Leo in the dog and think, you know, you're too set in your ways, you're too pessimistic for me, you know, you're not as confident as me, we could take over the world. Well, Leo dog doesn't want to do that. They still want to act like, you know, grounded and justice orientated. You know, sometimes a dragon can sweep all before them, and it doesn't sit well with their conscience. So let's avoid the dragons at all costs. If we look at the Leo dog with health, we have to look at the heart. Quite vulnerable here, so prone to sort of heart disease. Unfortunately, I had to say that, but it can happen, and it does happen. And it doesn't mean to say they smoke or drink a lot, which is, you know, can be quite the contrary. They're quite, you know, careful of how they treat their body, but sometimes it doesn't matter. If it's luck of the draw with the Leo, they have, you know, unfortunately weak hearts, so we have to look at that, the biggest part of their body. So check that out, guys, for me, because there's medication out there now, and, you know, screening tests which say, you know, we can work on this, we can get this better. We're a lot more advanced now, so that's fantastic. Okay, thank you for joining me, and please join me for the last one. Thank you.